Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again, spokesman and advocate for basic human rights for all people. I consider myself to be an average Joe Blow. I really think we're all made average. But I also think that we have been exposed to different situations and out of that mold into something that still very different. And I ask myself, why am I here? The purpose as a human being walking around on this earth. It could be just a question if left like that, but being more than a question, you seek to find answers for which I have found enough to convince me that my purpose here on this earth in the midst of all of everything is to speak for and advocate for basic human rights for all people. And those human rights basically are identified by what satisfies me, what brings happiness and joy to me, absent the pain and suffering, and gives me confidence and satisfaction that I can be judged fairly, extending those same attributes to you, to the people of this earth, comparing that with what have been uh, given to the people in the past, for even that which I have served. One of the things that were on my mind this morning is the focus on heaven. I was thinking about the focus on heaven, how fantastic heaven supposedly is. Everybody would kind of identify the best that you can achieve in that regard is heaven. And in fact, so fantastic that people should spend this life trying to qualify for that next life, which is called heaven. And for so long, we have pursued that ideal. At least I have, and I'm sure many others have as well, considering the fact that it's still a prime of today's activities. Focus on heaven. And one I recall time I heard someone say that in the dealing and making of a lie, it takes all kinds of tricks to be engaged, even using truths to negate and make lies. So I'm thinking here, I speak English. Most of Americans speak English who were just taught English. And other languages, though there are others that speak them, if you don't speak that, it's foreign to you. So I speak and I'm thinking of focusing on heaven that's supposed to be so fantastic. And I thought about that. That sounds like a trick. That sounds like a trick to me. Someone say there's a heaven someplace else. And if you act this way here, you can possibly get heaven there. And it seems to me that if that were true, and everybody speaking of this fantastic difference in life or existence, then why are we projecting that it is to come as a result of some stuff we did here, which to me would qualify heaven wherever? If it's taking care that heaven is protected there, you would make me think that every individual down here would be trying to challenge that by making sure that if that's real there, this is what we would have here. So it makes me think that this idea about heaven is a trick. because we don't know where it come from really, but it's there. And no one wants to pursue it. Everyone's ideas about life here on earth is contradictory. None of these ways of life here on earth would even produce peace. None of these ways here for all, none of these ways here on life today would even produce prosperity for everybody else, at least in their minds. None of the things that we do here on the earth today could take care that everyone have the adequate education that they might be the best that they can be to produce the best that they can produce for the betterment of what they produce it for. No. Healthcare, needs, wants, and desires met. You think that something like that, everybody would want it. And for those who didn't want it, that would not affect those who did. Because those who did would do. And when it's not being done, that means they don't know. And so everything becomes a big lie. Everybody's living a lie while everyone says or thinks they're living a truth. So what happens in a situation like that? What happens? A guy who comes to you and say, I speak for a better understanding about life. And the message is so foreign. What happens? Listen, my friends. If you were taught English by an English-speaking person who speaks no other language, chances are that's all you're going to speak. And anything else is going to be foreign. The world that we live in today is all we know. Even the God, the true power that I'm referring to, not some imagination, even though it might appear that way. Because you can't put your eye on what you can't see. And the one with the power that has been given or exemplified, we cannot put our eyes on it. And yet we cannot deny it because everything we can put our eyes on legitimizes that it does. But it's beyond that that would qualify anyone to get out and go speak a truth contradictory to that which we have been taught, that which leads to all of the world since its existence has been living a lie. Why do I say it's been living a lie? Because all of that greatness that everybody said they want, never trying to pursue it. So every effort is below that, beneath that, less than that, convincing the people that it can't. And so when you really get a challenge, it's when you can see yourselves. These cannot teach you the righteous way. No one can teach you the righteous way because we have been taught its opposite. I don't care where we come from. I don't care who taught us. I don't care how good it sounds. There's only one, and that is the invisible power. You might say, well, how do you know when the invisible power is spoken? Because you will walk it, not just talk it. And when you have gone, whatever the results are of, wait a minute, excuse me for just a second. Yep, got that. Anyway, whatever the outcome is, it is all a part of the revelation. It is all a part of the truth being exposed to remove the lie. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I really hadn't planned on talking that much, but I was just thinking about how black people in this country have been treated. And And when I'm, most of us, when I say that, most of us can only refer back to what we might think we know. But a lot of people have done research to find out. They really check the history books. That's why white folks don't want you to know your history, because they done some unspeakable stuff. And I mean, it is as evil can possibly be. And this is why sometimes it makes it difficult to say. White people, when you start talking about the things I shared with you about peace, prosperity, they can't go that way. They have not been taught that. Where are they gonna get that from? They got to get that from a person who's been beat down so bad that they know exactly what ain't right. They know exactly what ain't heaven. And given the authority and recognizing the power that they got, and they ain't gonna take it, that means also they're not gonna impose it. So I'm saying to you, white folks cause the problem, gonna take black folks to fix it. And it ain't me trying to put the white folks down. Because as white folks was mean and low down and dirty and did that to black people was crazy out of their mind to allow it to happen. Both of them were denied God. For the purpose, I don't know. But I know today I'm telling you what has been given to me. And you can believe it, but if you're talking about some heaven someplace else, you got to be kidding yourself. I'm not saying that heaven doesn't exist someplace else. I'm saying that which promotes, that which produces heaven will produce heaven wherever it is exercised, wherever it is expressed. Even in hell, you can go to hell and you start doing the things that create heaven, and that's where the end of hell. So don't be talking to me about your righteousness, telling me what your religion say. Ain't nothing trying to help these people out here that's going through the real stuff. There ain't nothing out here trying to help these people who don't have access to health care, don't have access to money to take care of the things that they do, who have no, I mean, life is just passing them by. They're just as lost as they can possibly be. And there are those of us who think we got something going on and allow that to happen and then say we have a connection with God. Yes, we do. An ignorant connection with God. Well, I'm going to stop there, ladies and gentlemen. Next time I come back, I'll probably be a little more decent. Until then, Eddie Marcus saying goodbye for now.